Hi everyone, Makaela here from the Burka Avenger project. Welcome to the 10th video in our web series that discusses the Burka Avenger Teacher's Guide and how to get the most out of it. In this video, I will be going over chapter 10 called Jack and the Bot that begins on page 149 of the Teacher's Guide. The theme of chapter 10 is Never Let Fear Make You a Prisoner, and is broken down into 3 sections: before you watch, while you watch, and after you watch. This chapter brings a lot of characters together, so be sure to remind students of the names and associations if needed. Students who remember who each character is and how they fit into the storyline will better understand the content and feel more comfortable when sharing ideas and critically thinking about the topic at hand. The Before You Watch section has 2 drawings of the Jack and the Bot, one in exercise B and a smaller drawing with Baba Kaboom in exercise C. Take advantage of the fact that they are on 2 different pages and try to thoroughly complete exercise B before turning the page. Much can be said about the ornate and colorful large drawing on page 149, so focus students on this before looking at the second picture that includes Baba Kaboom. With my students, I would also reinforce the idea that context is very important, and that because the box in the first drawing has virtually no context, the assumptions that can be made about it can run the gamut. When ready, move on to exercise C and ask students to not only consider if their opinions have changed, but also critically think about why their feelings may or may not have changed. Exercise D in the While You Watch section is a very cool activity that you shouldn't pass up doing with your class. The amount of time that is covered in the video is quite short, but that is by design. The activity challenges students to answer 4 questions by watching the video with the sound off. These kinds of activities are great for mixed ability classrooms because it evens the playing field regarding listening comprehension. All the students depend on their other skills to complete the task, which can be done in pairs, groups, or as a whole class, depending on the number of students you have and their level. I would recommend watching the video once and then seeing how many answers your students are able to get. If needed, play the video a second time without the audio and, again, share some answers. Then, as a means of checking the answers for this exercise, play the video one more time, but this time with audio. The After You Watch section has 2 great tips that should be highlighted. The first is on page 162 and touches on teaching and learning vocabulary. I employ this strategy in my classroom to keep teacher talk to a minimum. If you can harness the prior knowledge of students, that increases peer-to-peer learning and keeps the activity very student-centered. As has been mentioned multiple times in this series, lecture-style learning is simply not an effective teaching method. Therefore, getting students to share their knowledge is an ideal way of addressing vocabulary in the classroom. The second highlighted tip is on page 164 and talks about using brainstorming as a means of scaffolding an activity for students. If you're not familiar with scaffolding, it means providing the basic structure for students to then build upon further. Scaffolding through brainstorming is an excellent way to set students up for success by demonstrating the critical thinking process for them. Encourage students to generate all ideas, don't limit themselves, then once all ideas are gathered, sort through them for the most appealing or applicable and move forward with those ideas. Well, that's it for chapter 10. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good ideas on how you can best use chapter 10 in your classroom. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video and share it widely with your colleagues and the other teachers you know. Videos for chapters 1 through 9 are also available, as well as the corresponding quick tips series, which takes an expert dive into an interesting aspect of each chapter. So check those out as well. Thanks again, everyone.